How do we look at each other and
I don't know.
Okay. Hi, I'm Felicia, and I'm here today with Madeline Madrigal.
Hi.
She has taken the time to do an interview with us for Wit Grace magazine. Thank you so much for sitting with me today and
Absolutely.
sharing more about Power of Three services.
Thanks for having me. Power of Three Services is a dual advising service. So we do business advising for small businesses and entrepreneurs, as well as individuals, like career advising. What makes us unique from other types of consulting or advising services is that we're very much spiritually based. So our mission is to help individuals and businesses find their kingdom purpose in the corporate world.
So what does that look like? Kingdom purpose. Isn't the corporate world a secular world?
So unfortunately, we've all been groomed and seeds have been planted for us to make us believe that, right? That it's completely secular. But the word tells us his kingdom is the entire earth. So logically, his earth, his kingdom doesn't end the minute we walk into the workplace or the minute we walk in through those doors at our corporations. That being said, there's very much a way that you can walk out your kingdom purpose in the corporate world, whether it's using your administrative gifts, using your gift of giving or leadership, but even in the simple things such as showing up to work on time, not being passive aggressive on that email when you want to be. There's ways that we're supposed to be the light of Jesus, be the light of the Lord in the workplace. That doesn't mean that you're talking about scriptures or the Bible every minute. It just means really being a light in a dark place.
That's so good. So how did you come to your own purpose?
So I have over 15 years of experience in the corporate world. For most of those years, I was job hopping, really looking for fulfillment and joy out of a job that I wasn't able to find. That's why I was going from job to job. Until I was saved and gave my life to the Lord, did I realize this is what I've been looking for. This is that joy, this is that purpose that I've been missing, and I've been looking for this in a job. So knowing that purpose, knowing that joy came from the Lord, not from my job, I was then able to go back to my corporate job and practice my gifts, practice these things with a different joy, with a joy that came from an eternal source rather than a job that I knew wasn't always going to be there. So I was able to practice my gifts of administration, my gifts of leadership, all these skills that I know I really have, but my joy didn't matter in the job. It came from a different source.
Yeah. And you also probably readjusted who you were working towards, I'm guessing.
Right, and so we know in the scripture it says, all your work is done unto the Lord. So yes, I have a worldly boss, yes, I have worldly co-workers, but all the work I do, I strive to produce it in excellence because it is to the Lord.
Yeah.
Everything I do, from showing up to work at certain hours, making sure numbers are accurate, making sure my team understands what they're meant to do, that's all in excellence because it is a reflection of who I am in his image.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just so excited to help small business owners and individuals expedite that journey, because I spent way too many years, way too many jobs looking for something that I couldn't truly find in a workplace.
Yeah. What has been the most challenging part of entrepreneurship for you?
Balancing being an entrepreneur, working a corporate job, serving in my church, being a good daughter, sister, everything to my family and friends, and balancing on all that and trying to do all that in excellence.
I feel like everyone goes through that.
Right, yeah.
Do you feel like there's a balance to be had, or do you have to choose one and then choose another?
I don't think you necessarily have to choose one or the other. I think there are certainly sacrifices you're gonna have to make on, whether it's one day you're prioritizing your job, the other day you're prioritizing your family, the other day your church, or for certain seasons maybe.
Yeah.
What I've come to realize and just learn over time is that I specifically, to make sure I maintain a balance, to make sure I'm not stressed out with everything that's put on my plate, or that's on my plate right now, is to surrender my day to the Lord each and every single day. So I wake up in the morning and one of the first things I do is say, Lord, whatever you want me to get done today, I'll take your lead. Please give me the wisdom to do that. So that helps me prioritize, and I obviously have to, discern his voice and discern what it is he wants me to focus on. But they say his yoke is easy and his burden is light.
Yeah.
So there should be no reason why I'm stressed out if I'm allowing him to guide me to lead.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. Wow.
So I would say for someone who's searching for their purpose, the first step is to get to know the Lord, get to know God. I think we often overcomplicate what that looks like. The way I see it is just have a conversation with God. Hey God, this is what I'm stressed out about. What do I do? Yeah. It could be the first time you're talking to him, or just how you talk to him every single day, but he will slowly start revealing himself to you. And since we are made in his image, we can't know the purpose he's put on our life until we know him. So the first step is getting to know him, and once you start having a relationship with him, it's just like any worldly relationship. Someone's not going to come out right away and be like, hey, you're my best friend. It requires getting to know one another. Yeah. The same thing is with the Lord. And the second part of that is being around God-centered community. That type of community will, one, confirm what you're hearing in prayer and show you what it looks like to actually walk out your purpose. One of the things I struggled with for a while was just finding a community, and okay, I read the word, I was praying, but what does this really look like in the world? You know, I go to a job every single day, I get frustrated at work, all these things happen, but the word doesn't tell me specifically how to do that. It gives these conceptual principles, but who can teach me? Who do I know in my immediate circle who's walking that out? So that's where a small group in my local church really helped, and really getting involved in that type of community.
I feel like I was always one of those Christians who would hear about community, but I didn't see it practically in life. I would try to join small groups, but I never found a group of people to really do life with. So what would you say to someone who might be watching and they're in the same situation?
So for someone in that situation, my first recommendation would be to pray about it. The Lord will lead you to where you're supposed to be. I was in a season in my life when I first moved here to Atlanta where I was searching for community, I was moving, I was transitioning, starting a new job, looking for a place. And it was just overwhelming trying to find people to do life with, like you said. But I continued to pray about it. I said, Lord, lead me to who you want in my life. Lead me to who my circle is. Because I don't want to just have a friend, just to have a friend, just to take up time and be occupied. So continue to pray about it and the Lord will lead you. But it's certainly going to require a leap of faith. The first small group I went by myself. I didn't know anyone. And I was like, what if they don't like me? What if all these what ifs? But I've been praying about it. So I was like, okay, Lord, it's this, and I'm going to take this leap of faith. And it turned out to be absolutely pivotal to my journey with the Lord.
For sure. Same here. I'm pretty sure there was about a 3-month lag between when I signed up for your small group and I actually showed up, because every time I was like, the day of small group came and I was like, I'm not feeling it. I can't go to a group of strangers tonight. So next week, and then next week becomes next week. But I'm so thankful that I finally came. It's been such a blessing in my life, and I pray that if you feel like you're not in community, that God will lead you to a place where there are people for you to help you and just encourage you in your walk with God, because it's made all the difference in my life, and I believe it would make all the difference in your life as well.
Absolutely, 100%.
All of this has led you to start Kingdom Purpose in a corporate world small group that now I'm a part of. So how did that come about?
So that small group was a small act of obedience. Our preacher was talking about cracks and columns. There was a whole series on cracks and columns. They were starting this small group initiative at our church, and there was just I knew the Spirit was telling me, you have to do this, you have to do this. And in my flesh, I thought, what is it that I could possibly be small group about? What topic could I do? All I do is go to work and come home and, hang out with my family here and there. That's when the Lord revealed to me, that's what you need to talk about. Talk about how you're integrating your corporate life with your kingdom purpose. And so that's how this all manifested.
Did you feel ready when you started the small group?
I definitely did not. I was thankfully surrounded, and I still am surrounded by women who led other small groups and were coaching me and say, you're never gonna feel ready. You're qualified because the Lord's qualified you. If you put it on your heart, He's going to, the Holy Spirit's gonna take over, and that's fine. He's gonna get all the glory anyway. This isn't about you, it's about Him. And as long as you're a willing and open vessel, He will use that opportunity. And He certainly has.
Yes, He really has. I'm so glad that you obeyed God's voice, because your ministry through your small group has been such a pivotal point in my walk with Christ. So thank you for being obedient.
Thank you. That's awesome to hear.
Do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to share with viewers?
Yeah, I'm so excited to get to know each and every single one of you, learn about what's on your heart for the business you want to build, what's frustrating you at your job day in and day out. Anyone can go on my website, powerof3services.com, click contact us, and you can send me a note and it comes directly to my email.
So that wraps it up. Thank you so much, Madeline, for sitting with me, and thank you all for watching. It's been really fun. Bye.
Till next time.